Welcome, sports fans, Redskins Nation, to this week's episode of This Week at the Park. I am your host, Chris Wilson, here with Evan Redmond, son of Washington.com, along with Rich Tandler, CSNWashington.com. What is going on, fellas?
What's going on with you, man?
Hey, I'm just happy to be here. A lot of excitement, a lot of news to report on.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm just trying to keep up with all the news flying out of this place.
10,000 new free agents in the building.
Yeah, well, it's been pretty quiet around here. First of all, happy St. Patrick's Day to you guys. No, anybody got on any green?
No
green. No, we call it amateur night from where I'm from. Yeah.
Well, let's look at what we were doing at the park during St. Patrick's Day. Yep, snowed in.
Digging it up.
But do not worry, sports fans. It is about to heat up. First, a little bit of news. We have Will Montgomery, who was released. What do you guys make of that? We know we just signed a guard, and we got a lot of things pending, but, you know, I only like to talk about who we got signed, what's in stone. What moves do you think that the coach is going to make or the O-line coach is going to make, and how do you see that O-line shaping up for the season?
Well, I think right now, I think you pencil in, and I will emphasize the word pencil.
Pencil, yeah.
Yes, I heard at the moment, dry erase board, not a Sharpie for sure.
Right.
Corey Lichtensteiger at center.
That's what I thought.
Sean Laval at left guard, and there you go. Now, is that the end of the changes? You know, hearing some things of people visiting here. They tried to bring in Donald Penn. He ended up signing with the Raiders. So I don't think that's the first of the changes. I don't think it's going to be the last of the changes.
You know, we wrote on sonofwashington.com that there might be 4 new offensive linemen for the Redskins this season, which is a lot. I mean, that's a huge turnover.
That's a whole new offensive line.
That's basically anyone not named Trent Williams,
Silverback,
is in a little bit of trouble. But the problem with that is that, you know, you've got a lot of holes on the Redskins. So they've signed a lot of players at a lot of different positions. How many players can you bring in along the offensive line? I agree with Rich that, you know, it looks like this is Lichtensteiger's job to lose at the center position. Laval will get one of the.
He might lose it in the next few days.
Well, we'll see. You know, I mean, if they bring in De La Puente, that's another guy they brought in. So who knows? And they might draft somebody.
Yeah.
You also got some holes at the right tackle position. But I think that Jay Gruden wants to get bigger on the offensive line. I mean, that's the one thing that we absolutely know.
Well, if you want things done differently, you have to do things differently. And what the Redskins have been doing in free agency, it's going to be a very competitive camp. Very competitive camp.
A lot of guys vying for not so many positions, especially along the lines, the offensive and the defensive lines. A lot of guys there.
Right, and I bet sports fans didn't know this. Mila, the Redskins cheerleader, she left as well. She wasn't released. She wasn't released, but she's not here anymore. So all you Mila fans out there, she's not going to be here. So, you know, that's enough of the bad news as a player.
I bet they got another one, though, ready to step right into Mila's spot.
We'll see if she can root us on.
They do a pretty good job of resupplying that cheerleader staff.
Enough of the bad news. Let's talk about our quarterback, RG3, who won the Ed Block Courage Award. We have a video of that. Let's take a look.
This is one of the only awards that is voted on by your own teammates, and it's a huge honor. You know, it takes a lot of courage to go out there and do some of the things that happen on a football field, but I think it takes a lot more courage for your own guys to recognize the efforts that you're putting forth. So I take that to heart, and after the year we had, how tough it was, this is kind of something that's letting me know that they appreciate everything I've done.
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
The quarterback, being a leader on and off the field, being able to come back. How will we bounce back from adversity? That is the question in 2014.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to roll in there and have a great rookie year. You know, it's another thing to come back from from what he went through.
Yeah.
Come back, have a not so good year in 2013. I don't think anybody could say otherwise.
Injuries.
Right, so it's this year. How do you it's a 2-year thing to come back from that.
This one will shape up who
But
he
the
is.
other thing, just real quick on that, that vote came out right about the time where's all the all the talk was swirling about how they weren't helping him helping RG3 up off the ground.
Well, it was his vote by his teammates.
There was a lot of dissension and backbiting and things like that. Exactly, and then that pointed out that was a vote of his teammates. So that was was a good sign.
When you're not winning, those stories come out, and they're 3-13 football season. Everyone's looking for there's dissension, there's dissension. That was a load of garbage. The one thing that I really liked about that, and your partner in crime, Tariq Al-Bashir, interviewed Robert Griffin III at that event, and he says he's not wearing the knee brace coming up the year. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to see the same guy that we saw in his rookie year, or at least close to it.
Well, he's a little bit more healthier. RG3, we know what he's capable of. Just keep getting better in the offseason. We ready for you. Let's talk about some signings. Let's talk about some new additions. First of all, I almost wasn't even going to say this guy's name. He's a kicker.
You brought up a kicker?
Yeah.
That's what we lead off with?
He signed Jake Rogers.
We're going to see computers snapping off all over the town here.
Let's talk about Clifton Gathers, a defensive end. Now, this guy's huge. Gathers. I'm sorry. Clifton Gathers. This guy is huge. He's the nephew of James Jumpy Gathers.
Jumpy.
You guys remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely remember
Heck
him.
of a pass rushing tackle on the '91 Super Bowl team.
He was indeed. He won the Super Bowl against the Bills. And he bounced around to a lot of teams. He played with 4 teams in his NFL career, but for whatever reason, he is most fondly remembered, I think, as a Redskin. That Super Bowl may have something to do with it.
Right. Well, he came in, I believe, was it for Charles Mann? See, I know a little bit. I played Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah.
So I know a little bit about my history when it comes to the old Super. Yeah, he came in for.
I think he was on Super Tecmo Bowl, maybe.
My favorite player was Reggie White. So I knew all the DNs. I knew Mann. I knew guys. I knew everybody, even as a young toddler. And he had a move, they called it the
forklift.
Now, this is a move that I may have thought I was doing as a teen. I really wasn't doing it.
You were doing the slingshot.
Well, that's my move.
That's your move.
That's my move, the slingshot.
Okay.
We got to get some footage of that. I got to bring some footage of the slingshot in here.
Right.
But the forklift is a move, and I guess because of his height, if he gets all the way into you, he can kind of just lift you up a little bit, and is because of leverage, is nothing you can do about it.
He's in control, yeah.
I love that because that tells me that you're not just big and super strong. It's a skill and it's an art to this pass rushing thing, folks.
Well, if his nephew can do anything like that, we got a great signing.
I'm excited about it. This week at the Park, brought to you by Audi. In case you're just tuning in, I'm your host, Chris Wilson, along with Evan Redmond and Rich Tandler. Just a few announcements. We have this spring being just around the corner, so what are you going to do with your kids? Start planning. How about you bring them into a summer camp program in North Virginia and Richmond? For information, visit www.redskins.kidscamps.com. If you sign up today, you get $50 off. Now, I remember going to a camp when I was a kid, growing up in Flint, Michigan. My dad took me to Saginaw Valley State, who I would grow up and stump while I was at Northwood University. But nonetheless, went to Saginaw Valley State and was trying to be Barry Sanders and stuff. And kids I never forget things like that. I remember Morton, the kick returner, all those guys. So bring your kids on out. They'll never forget it. Other news, let's talk some more defensive linemen. We signing Cowboys now. What is going on with that?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They can play.
It doesn't matter. I know that linebacker, Brian Orakpo, outside linebacker, Ryan Kerrigan, I played outside linebacker. I know how these space eaters function. Let's look at a clip. What is Ryan Kerrigan doing in the offseason, our big Pro Bowl stud? Let's take a video and see what he's up to.
We got still most of the same guys coming back that know the system, that have been in the system for a number of years, and a lot of continuity with the coaching staff defensively, which is good, despite losing a couple coaches. But when you bring a guy in like Jason Hatcher, who he does a lot for the run game and the passing game, and watching him pass rush, he did pretty well against us last year for the Cowboys, so it's exciting to have him on our side this time.
He did pretty well last year. Come on, Ryan, don't say he did well against us. That's a secret. But he is on our team now.
It was not. It was right there on national television.
Yeah, Robert Griffin III lying down on the ground. That was no secret. That was tough to watch.
I think this guy is going to be an awesome attribute to the Redskins.
Well, the thing about it is that I know the Redskins fans don't like it when we bring in Cowboys. Right. That's just an ongoing thing. But Look at it this way. If the Redskins should happen to beat the Cowboys at least once, maybe twice, and Jason Hatcher gets a sack on Tony Romo,
oh, yes,
the Cowboy fans are going to be feeling a lot of emotional
Salt in the
pain.
wound.
Yeah, and nothing makes me happier to know that Cowboy fans are experiencing emotional pain.
Yeah.
That just makes my day.
Right.
So I'm all for it if it works out that way.
Even Trent Williams' side on Twitter.
Yeah.
This guy has a motor.
Yeah,
he's
he's
big.
cheering. Yeah.
He's bringing it.
He would know.
Division opponents, we know the football players. Let's look at a video about Hatcher and see how he feels about being a Redskin in that whole Redskins versus Cowboys rivalry.
How do you see your contributions unfolding this year with the Redskins?
They brought me in to do what I do best. That's rush the quarterback. So I'm excited about that. They're doing some different things with me up front to give me some one-on-ones, and I just got to go out there and win them like I've been doing. So I'm excited, for the process of just becoming a better player.
Grambling man, huh?
Absolutely.
You got another one in the building.
Yeah, I saw him.
You saw him today?
Doug Williams.
Yeah. That's a legend, in Washington, D.C. And when you come to this football team, you know how fierce the rivalry is with your ex-team. And I would think you want to beat them bad.
Yeah, absolutely. We all do. But that's one of the main reasons why I'm here, man. I love the rivalry, man. It's just hard-nosed football, man. So if you get out of here and win a Super Bowl, you've earned it. So that's why I'm here. So I just like tough football. I like to lot of them play football.
I love this guy.
You hear fans complaining all the time, well, it's not the intensity in the Cowboy-Redskins rivalry there used to be. That guy, Jason Hatcher, is going to make sure it's intense.
Oh, it's going to be intense.
He'll make sure.
And I want the fans to see this because we wear helmets, and it's hard to realize and understand who we are as a people. So we getting to know these guys, know these faces. We could cut the clips of RG3 getting sacked, but I love this guy's pick. Let's talk some linebackers. We got celebrities, cousins, nephews. The cousin of Al Sharpton, Daryl Sharpton, signed from the Texans. We got some linebacker competition heating up. Then we also signed Akeem Jordan from Philadelphia. How do you guys think these guys will contribute?
Most recently of the Chiefs,
most recently
Jordan. But he was broken. You played against him as an Eagle. But
played with him as an Eagle.
It's a lot of guys. You add in Alvin Hayward, who was also signed earlier. Perry Riley was re-signed. And Keenan Robinson, supposedly back, healthy, ready to go. That's 5 inside linebackers.
Yeah.
And what that says to me is, well, 2 things. Inside linebacker, I think you're going to see, obviously Riley's going to start and play almost every snap. I think you might see the other guys.
Do you think Riley plays the Mike or the Jack linebacker?
I think he's calling the signals.
Yeah.
I think he has to play the Mike. I was going to say that. You bring in all these guys, and you have one linebacker who's a standout that also knows the system. You have to shuffle them over to the Mike backer and then bring somebody else.
Yeah.
That is going to be interesting, this race.
That's what he's been preparing for 4 years, basically.
Hopefully he'll be ready.
Yeah. And even London said thrown pass.
Yeah.
And I know that's what he always wanted to do, help him get more established so he can have more of a legacy.
It also says to me, though, special teams. These guys are all experienced on it.
Teams.
You need your linebackers, your backup linebackers is how you made a living for so many years playing special
Coach
teams.
Katwika is licking his chops.
And
that's the whole thing that these moves say to me is that your middle linebacker is your special teams guy. The guy who goes down and knocks the snot out of somebody on coverage or on return teams. So Redskins were not good on special teams last year. I think we can establish that. There's obviously a huge emphasis on this. And if you go back and look at the tape from last year, you see the Redskins starting at their own 13, own 17, own 12.
Right.
Drive after drive after drive. And that's just painful. You can't really get any momentum. So I would love to see them start at the 35 on a regular basis, somewhere in there. Of course, if they kick off the ball from the 40, that may not happen too much, which might happen in the owners' meetings.
What's going on with this rule? We talk about we want less concussions. Mm-hmm. I'm a defender as well as a special team standout. If you give me 5 more yards, we're going to be pooch kicking kickoffs.
Yeah, that's true. That would discourage putting that. So,
and it's not as exciting to the fan. You're talking about offense. You're talking about excitement, seeing a return to the end zone, the biggest momentum changer in football. I feel like they're kind of taking it out.
They're trying to.
Are they taking it out, or are they putting it back in? If I'm a special teams coach, I'm wondering if I can, get a couple of kicks that are really high in the air in terms of trajectory, landing hopefully inside the 5, and see if you can pin those guys down.
A lot more flags.
A lot more flags.
Leading with the helmets.
It's going to take them a while to get. Yeah, but we'll see if they actually vote that in. This is the owners' meeting next week. Is when that happens. Yeah.
Well, we signed Tracy Porter as well, and we also re-signed, a.k.a. the Predator, Brandon Merriweather. He brings a lot of tenacity to the secondary. How do you guys see this secondary shaping up? I mean, we obviously is going to be a lot of competition, but Tracy, we remember him from the Saints, taking picks back in the Super Bowl.
That pick, pick six of Manning. In fact, he has a pick six off of each Manning.
I think he compliments D'Angelo
in his career. He's done it to both Eli and Peyton. So he can make big plays, but it's still very much an incomplete picture there. You got Merriweather's probably the guy at one safety, but who's going to be the other? Do they bring somebody else in? Do they give Philip Thomas a shot? Do they give Bakai Rambo another shot?
Well, there's going to be competition. You can't just X out a rookie. It's a learning process. So.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just hope he can get up there and do it. But you'd hope by at least midseason he's fighting for that Spartan. He's up there and competing for it.
Exactly.
I think that's what they have in mind. They stayed away from signing the safeties to longer contracts. I think they want to develop their own guys there.
Exactly.
You got Philip Thomas coming back from an injury. I mean, he basically got about 2 minutes into his NFL career last year before he went out with an injury with his foot. So he's going to get a chance to see if he can do something. But I think what the Redskins are doing, if I'm reading the tea leaves right, is that they're saying, you know what, we're going to get better at pass rush, and that's going to make our secondary better. I think that's what their philosophy is. You can't fix everything in 1 year. You just can't. Well, so bringing in Jason Hatcher going to improve the pass rush. Gaithers could improve the pass rush. And they got Brandon Jenkins, who's coming into
basically just helping those linebackers get more one-on-ones with tight ends and running backs.
That's the idea, right? I mean, you want to make life hard for the quarterback. If the quarterback can't throw the ball, doesn't matter who you can have the worst guys in the backfield. Doesn't matter. Those guys can't get the ball.
Well, sports fans, you got different results coming, winning season coming. We're doing things differently as an organization. I'm your host, Chris Wilson, Rich Tandler, Evan Redmond. Thank you for watching This Week at the Park, brought to you by Audi. See you next week.